Okay, there we go. All right. So, good morning. As we kind of just give people a minute or two to come in. So Coach Alice and I are probably just going to have a little bit of banter. And then we're going to probably start at 11:04, 11:03. Really doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. This is exciting, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is so exciting. I'm looking forward to having a beautiful class, a class where we're going to teach. Oh,
Looking
okay.
forward to that too.
I like the way you've taken like a whole picture of yourself talking. Let me see if I can do that. Is that on the laptop or on the phone?
It was on the phone.
Let me see. How am I going to do it? I can story. Let me see. No, but if I take directly from the phone, no, it won't work. I really have to figure out how to do some of these things.
We learn today.
Yeah, you learn along the way. Let me see. Let me see how it looks like on YouTube. Okay, yeah, we are live on YouTube and I can see myself, but it's okay. All right, that's fine. That is
Great.
good. You know what? I believe let us begin. Everybody else will just catch up as they catch up wherever they are. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to July. Welcome to the first day of the month. What a beautiful day. God has been so good. It has been an interesting 6 months, but here we are. And we're stepping into the next half of the year. We're stepping into the start of the third quarter of the year. And it's such a blessing for us to be here, gathered together, and just have this particular class on nurturing your femininity with essential oils. So I am glad that everybody's here. I am blessed for those who will be here live with us and those who will catch us on the replay. So we're going to be here for about an hour and a half because Coach Alice has to get ready for her other event. I'll give her an opportunity to talk about that. But I'm so grateful that you accepted my invitation to teach this class together. I can't think of anybody better to teach this class with than yourself. So what we're going to do is I have a presentation here which is going to actually just help guide how the flow of the discussion, so that we don't get sidetracked. You know, there are certain topics that when you start talking, you can talk and talk and talk, but we really need to keep it compact so that also the information is just very clear and very succinct, right? So let me see. Yeah, there we go. Before we go very far, as always with all my classes, I'm issuing a medical disclaimer. This is an informational webinar. It's not intended to replace proper medical advice. You are encouraged to seek proper medical attendance from your practitioner and to practice due diligence. And also this class is very peculiar to doTERRA essential oils because those are the oils I know, those are the oils I'm familiar with, and those are the oils that I have used for a very long time. So for anybody who's coming across me for the first time and doesn't know who I am, my name is Bree. I love essential oils. I've been oiling this is actually my 8th year. And so I love teaching people how to use essential oils every day. And as we keep going along and as I keep doing these wellness classes, you're going to see that essential oils have a place in our everyday wellness, okay? And so you can connect with me on Instagram at Briorata and other channels, which I'll share with you a bit later. But allow me to introduce today's guest, the lovely Coach Alice, and I'm going to give an opportunity to just introduce herself before we get into the meat of the presentation of the class today.
Want me to do it now?
Yeah, it's your turn. Yes.
Okay, great. My name is Alice Muhirwa. I am Rwandese. I am a coach for this is my 4th year. I have been in corporate more than 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
I worked and sat on different managerial board back home in Rwanda, both institutional, political, and managerial. So in my new path of coaching, I have helped above 100 women executives, business owners to reshape their image, to reshape and refine their behaviors, their presence, and embrace femininity for higher pursuits. I'm very passionate about etiquette, good manners, and femininity in in my coaching and everyday sharing on social media. You can connect with me at Coach Alice underscore elevate. That's
And
it.
I would encourage everybody to actually just go and check out Coach Alice's Instagram page. She gives some really useful tips that you can immediately begin to implement on in your everyday. And etiquette, courtesy, these are soft skills that everybody needs to have, not just women, but women, men, children, everybody needs to have some degree of etiquette and good manners. It's very important, and it will take you far where I don't know, where like appearance cannot take you, but these other softer skills are very important. So I'm very happy and grateful that you're with us today, and so we're going to get right into it. I keep thinking this is Zoom why you just keep pressing, but anyway, it's okay, let's get this. So our class today is going to be three-part, really. The first part of this class is going to be an exploration of Femininity 101 with Coach Alice. And then we're going to talk about, the second part is we're going to talk about your not so secret key to feminine wellness. And today, one of the things that really came to me was that, God created women, God equipped women to be women. And this is what we're really going to talk about. And then the last part is some practical ways that you can begin to nurture your femininity. And we are both going to give you from our personal experience some of the things we have found that have worked, right? So under the first section, even as we get into a discussion with Coach Alice, I just want us to look at these key areas. We're going to start by defining femininity. And Coach Alice, if you'd like to just kind of take it from there, bearing in mind that let us just be very clear from the beginning. And I'm very grateful when I was having the sit down with Coach Alice that we agree on the definition of femininity. And I'm going to let her just take that and run with it and go where this goes.
Yes, thank you, Brie. I remember in our brainstorm session, we abruptly say, first of all, what is your version of femininity? And she also told me, what is your version of femininity? It's very important to set the ground so that we know we are in the same version of femininity. There are different if there are different approach when it comes to nurturing femininity. Both of us, Brie and I, we do believe in divine femininity. We do believe in biblical based techniques and science backed techniques. What we are going to be sharing today is what works for us through our belief system, through our medical practices, and through also what we saw worked for others basing on science and other theory that are brought in by science. Disclaimer, we don't believe in herbs, in stones, in card reading, in oracle. We simply believe in natural techniques and just working on your mindset. With no further ado, how I would define femininity. Femininity is the essence of being and acknowledge your divine assignment as a woman and honor it through your behavior, through your belief, and through your everyday practice. That's the definition I can give.
No, and that is perfect. At the end of the day, the femininity we're looking at is just stepping into how God created you to be. The divine essence that when God created Alice, when God created Brie, when God created Jane as women, he had a plan, he had a good plan, he had a purpose for that. So that is the definition that we're using. And like I said earlier, God created and equipped women to thrive and to flourish. So as he made you a woman, he gave you the mechanism with which you're going to thrive. And I love the fact that you've also talked about honoring your femininity through your practices, through your everyday, and through what it is that you do. So one of the questions that we want to also address today is, why is femininity actually important? What role does femininity play in today's world?
I like that question a lot because while growing up, there is a kind of scare preteen and teen get about womanhood. You are told that, oh, don't talk, don't be close to the boys. You have to sit a certain way. You know you are a woman. And for you as a young girl, you feel like being a woman is such a project. Being a woman is dangerous. Being a woman, people can attack you. Being a woman, people will hurt you. People will harm you. And from your pre-teenage to teen, you are gearing up to defend. You're gearing up to protect yourself so that boys don't hurt you, so that boys don't harm you. You don't embrace gracefully the womanhood from a young age. When you grow up fearing being a woman, you give less value being a woman. You less comprehend it, you less accept it, and you less want it. Because remember, at that age, that is also the age where your period is coming. Sometimes you're seeing the morphology changing. You're seeing so much change coming, and there is so much body shaming around it. There is so much hate around it. Less teen love themselves. Majority of teen face serious issues of body shaming around that age because no one prepares them to gracefully accept the changes. And many teens run away from femininity. They are masculine. I don't want to look like a girl. You will find even in the way they dress up, they become and find more comfort into becoming tomboyish than dressing up like a lady, than sitting like a lady, than walking like a lady. They want, because they find power and defense in trying to look like a boy, and then they end up becoming that. Initiating femininity to our young girls is very important because they will start embracing who they are as women at a young age. They will not fear the process. They will not fear the changes. They will embrace what is happening in their lives. And they will also manage to embrace the stages without necessarily shielding up into being masculine, without necessarily shielding up and becoming harsh, defensive, and arrogant and, bitter in life. I think this is the time to understand femininity from a young age. And when we grow up like that, even when we start dating, now we feel like, I think a woman is always catching up with something.
Mm.
You are catching up by teenagehood. The teenagehood is over. Now, at least I didn't mess. At least I didn't give birth in my teenagehood. At least I didn't do that. The moment you start embracing the womanhood, there is a societal pressure. Are you dating? Are you seeing someone? And you feel less of a woman if you don't date. You
Hmm.
start avoiding people because you know you don't have nothing to say. Once you have married, they start saying, are you giving birth? When are you giving birth? Are you pregnant? And when it doesn't work, I feel like society has made a woman to always put accounts. Like, Tell us, where are you at with life?
Mm-hmm.
And when you understand why you are a woman, it has nothing to do by responding to the society expectation, but it has much to do with your divine assignment, which is nurturing, which is multiplying, which is responding to the society with kindness, which is spreading love and attention to everyone around you, not necessarily your baby from your own womb.
Okay, and first, I just want to really emphasize what you've talked about, the importance of teaching femininity and modeling femininity from a young age, because you'll also find that children imitate what they see their parents do. So if you didn't see your mother be feminine, or you saw your mother always defensive and angry, and for whatever reason or whatever the circumstances were, maybe through no fault of her own, but because life forced her to be hardy, then it
Mhm,
means that that's what you grow up doing. And please forgive me if you hear any noises and shouts in the background. It's
mhm,
part of the job of being a mom. But
mhm,
so yeah, I think that's a very important thing. And let me just urge all the mothers here who have daughters, all the ladies here who are aunties, all the ladies here who have young girls who look up to them, please learn these things about femininity so that you can model a different way for the younger generation, so that we can at least begin to address some of these issues that we see showing up, which can be traced back to childhood. But that is a discussion for another day, and I'm very grateful that you've brought that up. So one of the things that we also want to ask is, so we keep saying femininity is divine essence. So what are some of the defining traits? What would you say makes a feminine woman?
Ah, that's interesting. A feminine woman is seen and defined by her
Mm-hmm.
character mostly, and behavior. And here are some of the characters that will really help you to identify a woman in her feminine behavior or her feminine era.
Mm-hmm.
A woman who is feminine, she's a being. She's someone who like evolving. She's someone who like becoming. She's someone who learns and becomes someone else. The person you see this year is not the same version you will see next year. If you meet with her, you will find that she has grown. She's someone who embraces growth. Remember, the main essence of a woman is to be a being, someone who flows with time, someone who flows with situation, someone who has the capacity of adaptability, who adapt herself on situation. Another major trait of a feminine woman is kindness.
Mm-hmm.
A feminine woman is kind. She has a pure heart that she's kind to other people. She's kind with people that she lives with. She's kind in her society, in her environment. She's kind to nature. She's kind to nature. She like organic growth. She involve herself in different activity. She's an activist. She has compassion in her heart to defend certain things. She has some cause that she likes. You, I know you like essential oils. You like natural products. You like such a kind of example. A woman who has something at her heart that she can die for.
Mm-hmm.
She has a high level of compassion and kindness toward others. Another threat of femininity, apart from the the ambition of growth, the ambition of growing all the time, and the compassion, heart, and kindness, another threat of femininity is a feminine woman is naturally soft. Soft, not necessarily body wise. You
Mm-hmm.
can be a woman who is sporty, a woman who has developed her muscle, but she has a soft heart. She has a soft approach on the way she handles things. She has a soft expression. She doesn't express herself with so much anger, with so much fear, with aggressiveness in what she does. She has that empathy and softness. Another trait, a feminine woman is very intuitive. And this is a gift from God. Women who swing in their feminine era are very intuitive because they read energy. I can easily read somebody's intention before they can come to me because you have that capacity to sense and feel and see things from afar.
Okay. I'm just looking here at my notes and some of the words that you gave we're talking about so that you can also kind of pick up on that. But under this particular defining traits, one of the things that I really loved was you said that women are born to be a queen, a multiplier, a caregiver, incubator,
Yeah.
unifier of nations, bearers, communicator, diplomat. Like there was just so much good stuff. So from those,
our our divine role,
yes.
our feminine divine role.
Oh, okay.
Feminine divine roles were not to sit and become pretty and be taken care of. When you read the Bible, God was very clear on the role of a woman in the society. There's nowhere in the Bible they say, okay, Eve, go and sit pretty so that Adam can take care of you, can provide for you,
Mm-hmm.
can. It's not written anywhere. This is a human made version of femininity. The divine femininity role was for a woman to be a multiplier, to give birth and to nurture humanity. And there is no way you will do that while seated. We all know and understand the process in which a woman goes through when you're pregnant and giving
Mm-hmm.
birth. There's no sitting pretty there.
No.
The whole process of nurturing. We are given a role of being negotiators. We sit at the table. You have seen Esther negotiating on behalf of her community. She was so clever. She was so strategist. She was a diplomat. She need to strategize and know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. There is no
Yes.
sitting there. You remember the threat of being a woman who is compassionate and kind and
Mm-hmm.
having cause that she wants to defend. Esther was a typical example of a feminine woman. She was pretty, but she used her beauty to defend her nation.
And that's a
That
very powerful perspective that you've brought in there, which is in your Bible. If you read it and you get that good example. Is there
yes,
anything else you'd like to add on that front?
yes, I would love to add when you see the behavior of Esther since the constellation, how she came to portray her beauty, how she was walking. Maybe it's not detailed in the Bible. I'm trying to imagine a scenario. Maybe she was walking in a certain way. She was dressed with decency, with power, with some sort of fragrance that piqued the king's attention. She was speaking in a certain manner. Her feminine presence was so huge that the king could not ignore it. She was
And
so put together to
yes,
a point where she was saying, "No, I think she's the one." Her aura, her feminine aura, was so powerful and overtaking that the king could not take it out. And this is the nurturing femininity that we are talking about. That's what we train. That what you need to become. You don't have to be always in high heels and pearls and long hair and lashes to be and look feminine. You have to work from your radiance. You have to work from your work from within, and you have to know how to pursue, you have to know how to negotiate, you have to know how, when I sit at high table, what should I speak? You need to have those soft skills that are going to help you become more convincing, like Esther. So
Okay.
when I say our divine trait, we are multipliers, we are communicators, we are negotiators, we are strategists and diplomats. Those are what our divine role.
Okay, so we are now getting a good picture of why women were actually created in the first place. And I would urge everybody who is listening in to kind of just go through this particular section again and try and see in your life where you are doing where this is playing out, where you're a multiplier, where you're a negotiator. Maybe you're in a marriage and you have obviously you have in-laws. How are you handling navigating those relationships? So we have a lot of things to learn about femininity even in our own spaces and relationships, right? So I'm looking here because I had asked people who had questions to kind of send them in, and one came in that I feel like this is a good point to just answer that. And it's, are there physical aspects a woman should work on to bring out her femininity more? And is femininity just a question of physicality, or is physicality like the base, and then from here you build? What are your thoughts on that?
I would like to have the first question first and then we
The
do the
question is, are there physical aspects a woman should work on to bring out her feminine more?
yes, there are physical aspects you can work on, but I always advise to work on your femininity from the inside.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That is your mental, that is your physical, your belief system, and and your mindset that I am actually feminine. So I can behave, I can think, I can bring out my femininity. And then the physical trait or the physical aspect that you can work on to showcase the feminine that you want to look like is to work on your appearance and your speech, your posture, and your work style.
Oh wow, and that is very good. I really love what you've talked about, that femininity actually starts from your head. It's a mindset first,
Yes,
and
yes.
then it radiates outwards. Just like everything, a lot of things start from the mindset first. A lot of things start inwards first before we see the fruit outside. So that is actually very excellent and very sound advice, that start with your attitude first, and how you define and your mindset around femininity. And
The
then
reason why
lastly,
the reason why I advise like that is that there are so many women who appear feminine on their
yeah.
appearance. They have a beautiful silhouette, they know how to enhance their silhouettes, they know how to dress perfectly, they are in heels, they're in earrings, they are beautiful hair, but when they open up their mouth,
Mhm.
they are so aggressive in their approach. So I prefer to work the other way around. Work on your attitude, work on your speech, work on your behavior, and then let the physical appearance come like the icing of the cake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. I mean, complete agreement with your approach, because I believe that is the way to go, so that also your feminine transformation can be sustainable and long lasting, and you don't have to feel like you're pretending to be feminine without
Yes,
having
that
an yeah.
that's it. When you work from within, it will not be lasting and it will not mean the purpose because it's temporarily. It has
Mm.
to start with here to be sustainable.
Okay, I really love that, and I can't wait for people to actually just take in the gravity of this very. It's a very simple but a very profound message, and I can't wait for people to really take in the gravity of that completely. And then lastly, under this part, we're just going to quickly go
The
through.
second
So
question was get the second question.
No, the second question you've actually answered it completely, because the question was centered around, is physicality the most important thing, or where do people start from? And by saying that you start with your mindset first, that's just, you start from the inside going out and not the outside going in. So
Okay.
that pretty much answered the question. So thank you
Mm.
for that, right? So now we're going to ask two last subsections under this part. The first one is, so why should you put in the effort to nurture your femininity? You know, some people will say, I've gotten by just fine. Why should I put in the extra effort to actually nurture my femininity?
That is an interesting question. I'm going to try to summarize because there's so many aspects around it.
Mm-hmm.
We all have our feminine energy, all of us as
Yes.
women, but its presence in our life is different from a person to a person. Some have high feminine energy, some others have suppressed it basing on different things, basing on how they grew up, how they were raised, the mother who raised them, the women around them when they were young, or what happened to them throughout life that made them shield and choose to swing more and navigate in their masculine nature. So, all of us, because we have a feminine energy at different levels, we encourage women to nurture their femininity to fetch the balance so that you help your feminine era, your feminine energy to come out and help you behave like a woman. As we saw in our previous talk, we have said there are some girls who even feared to just be a girl because there was no safety in being a
Mm,
girl. So
yes.
they grew up in being a hard woman, or trying to showcase power, try to showcase energy, try to showcase that I'm aggressive, I can do this. Growing up as an orphan myself, I lost my parent when I was 13. So I knew there was no need to be feminine, there was no need to be soft. I had to be hard for myself and for my own sisters. I had to swing into power to defend whatever was left to be defended as a firstborn. My teenagehood, the same thing. When I started dating, I even wondered why a man would like me, because I never knew that I'm beautiful. I was wondering, why are you here? What
Mm,
brought you here? You are always anticipating danger. You are always anticipating something bad. And when you hit your 20s, 25th, you start to say, hey, is there something wrong with me? Why is not someone asking me on a date? Am I not a lady enough? Now you're trying to catch up with time because everyone else around you is dating. So, nurturing femininity is going to help you allow that feminine energy to grow and take up space. That's why we allow ourselves to nurture that feminine energy. And there are some acts or there are some actions that we can actually do to help ourselves nurture it, to help ourselves it grow so that we can allow that part in us that we have suppressed for long from teenagehood, from from any time that you started suppressing your femininity, and you allow it to come out and nurture again. Some of the
oh,
actions that I can mention,
yes, yes, please.
are you
Yes,
okay?
please.
Some
Yes.
some of the actions that some of the nurturing actions that I can mention is to love yourself, acknowledge your body as a woman, okay? Affirming yourself, affirming your beauty as a woman. Journaling can help you see the beauty in you, speaking positively about yourself, having long showers as you shower, appreciating yourself, appreciating God, how great he is by creating and putting up this beautiful woman in you. Brie also will give us some of the examples using essential oils, massaging your body, acknowledging your body, those are nurturing activity, reading so often, decluttering your space, arranging your space, decorating, working with nature, walking barefoot, working on your flowers and your plants, and all those are acts that are going to help you stay grounded and go back to thinking of who I am. Why was I created? Any act that takes you back to think on your divine purpose is helping you nurture your feminine nature.
And those are such beautiful practical ways. And thank you for sharing that, because many women, unfortunately, the way our lives have become so fast paced, we have lost touch with some of these small things like decluttering and arranging, even something as simple as planning out your wardrobe for the week, you know
Yeah.
and choosing your clothes, the clothes that you're going to wear, and embracing color. Women are colorful. Just embracing color and embracing beautiful things. And again, this is not even a deep dive into femininity. We have not even scratched the surface, but we hope and we pray that by having this discussion, opening up this discussion, you can begin to start seeing and identifying areas where you can either improve, areas where you can do some more, areas where you can reduce on something. And even if you've never had a conversation like this around femininity, begin to be curious about it. And one of the characteristics or traits I find that feminine women have is that they're curious about things. You're curious and like, okay, so what is this femininity that I'm hearing people talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. So what is it? So that thing of being curious to want to find out more information is a very good thing that you can use to your advantage to start nurturing your femininity. And so, thank you so much, Coach Alice, for the first part. Now, as we move into the next bit of this presentation, we're going to be talking about our not so secret key, and I'm going to give an overview. And feel free, Coach Alice, to jump in and give in some of the pointers as you go along, so that we can have a more wholesome conversation and discussion for people. But understanding and operating within your feminine cycle is your not so secret key to thriving as a woman. As I said, God has already set us women up for success, and He did that by giving us our menstrual cycle. And one of the things I realized, even as we were preparing for this conversation, is that we are taught about our period in high school and primary school from the perspective of, number one, you will get pregnant if you're not careful. In fact, the narrative used to be that once you get your period, consider yourself a woman. But I beg to differ. But because some people get their period as early as 9 years old, a 9-year-old person, you cannot say that having your period at 9 makes you a woman. But anyway, let us just say that is what we people are taught. That's what young girls are taught. And then on top of that, there is the embarrassment and shame around your period. Hence, period shaming. So what we are hoping to do today, by exploring the beauty and the gift that is available in your menstrual cycle, is to help you understand that you have everything you need to live a successful life as a woman. And the moment you get in touch with that, you become liberated. Like it's a whole other avenue, so that you don't have to struggle your way through womanhood. So I'm going to talk. What you're going to do is we're going to talk about the menstrual cycle in 3 ways. We're going to talk about what happens in each phase. We're going to give you ideas on how you can make the most out of each stage. And then I'm going to talk about essential oils to support you through the different phases. Now, this is actually one of my favorite parts. I do love talking about femininity, and I have enjoyed talking with Coach Alice about it, but I even enjoy talking about the menstrual cycle a bit more, and how to use that to your advantage.
Yes.
So one of the things we have to realize is that women are governed by both the circadian and the infradian rhythm. And the infradian rhythm is of particular interest to women because it's what controls seasons, it's what affects things like the brain, metabolism, immunity, the microbiome, your stress response, and reproductive system. And in human beings, in women, the infradian system rhythm affects our menstrual cycle. In the natural world, it affects hibernation in animals. And if you notice, everything about the world has seasons. Like the world follows order. God is a God of order. So even as we observe nature, we see as a rhythm. That's why fall will come. It will be fall, spring, summer, autumn, fall. It's cyclical. It keeps going. It's orderly. You will never see a time where we have winter and then we have summer following directly. Like things have been crafted in a certain order, and it is the same way with the women's body in particular. So our endocrine system is of importance to us in this conversation. We can't talk about a woman without understanding the endocrine system and without understanding the effect of hormones. And so from this particular this particular slide, what I really want to hone in on is the fact that a lot of the issues that women are facing are pretty much because of a hormonal imbalance. And
Yes.
women's hormones are imbalanced by two major stressors. Okay, triggers. That is stress and
Yes.
toxicity. Those
Yeah.
and diet actually. So
Yeah.
diet would fall under toxicity and all that. So if you want to see immediate change in how things happen for you, manage your stress, reduce your toxin levels. It seems so complicated, I think, because on the one hand, we thrive on the more complicated something is, the more like we feel like if the more complicated it is, the more like it gives us a certain edge because it's more complicated. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah. So
And that is actually the approach of masculine women. They
mhm.
always like complexity.
Oh
When
wow.
hard is to confront, it's hard to understand, it's hard to break down, then it's a thing. But
Mm.
for a feminine woman, the less complex, the less the more friendly a mechanism is, she find her ease.
Oh wow, that is, I had not thought of that perspective, but that is very profound again. I think today in this conversation, the word I will use a lot is profound. So yeah, so this sorry,
Go
this
ahead.
basically that's it. From it's a simple matter as reduce your stress, reduce your toxins, and you're well on the way to beginning the path to regeneration and restoration. However,
Mm.
now so the question comes in, so what role do essential oils play in women's wellness? Why should you use essential oils in women's wellness anyway? If you have followed my classes, I have spoken extensively on, at the very beginning, I taught extensively on why to incorporate essential oils. But I want to cover a few characteristics and aromatic properties that make essential oils particularly helpful and a holistic approach to women's wellness. Number one, they're very fragrant and they smell good. And women in particular have an affinity to smell. Let's just say everybody likes things that smell good. And so scent is a very powerful way to change your mood immediately. So essential oils are fragrant, essential oils are relaxant and soothing, and they help the body calm down. And because a lot of us are under stress, we need to develop mechanisms that can help us really calm our bodies down and relax. And essential oils can help with that. They're also very uplifting and they help boost your energy levels and again reduce the stress and the tension that we carry around in our bodies. So many of us have a lot of pain, especially like on our shoulders, because we are literally carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. What we need to do is to find a way to reduce that stress and the tension. Then essential oils are adaptogenic, and this is one of my favorite characteristics of oils because they bring about balance in the body and they help to regulate hormones. The next thing is that they're circulatory and they help blood flow in the body. So what we don't want in our body is a situation of being stagnant and stuck. Circulation is very important. Circulation keeps our heart pumping. Circulation keeps the body, the blood flowing. But even from a more spiritual, if you may, perspective, we have to keep things have to keep moving. Where things are stuck, we are stagnant and we begin to feel like lethargic and weighed down. So essential oils can also help with circulation. They are nervine tonics which nourish and restore depleted, stressed or anxious nervous system. They are anti-inflammatory, and we know inflammation is responsible for almost every health condition there is today. You think about diabetes, you think about cancers, you think about pain, you think about arthritis. Inflammation is at the cause somewhere. Inflammation and oxidative stress. So essential oils can really support in that. They are antispasmodic and they can reduce aches and pains. People who are walking around and your knees are creaking like an old man, yet you're barely 30. There's an issue. They also help reduce toxicity by promoting detoxification of your home and your body. So, actually, what really does make essential oils powerful is the fact that they have all these aromatic chemical compounds which have been studied. They have been studied and they have seen that this is the effect of the compound on the human body. So it's a very exciting frontier just to be able to isolate some of these properties that help women's wellness. Okay. And so let's get into the meat of the menstrual phase. And if you can remember anything that you were taught in biology, I never paid attention much. The only thing I remember was FSH and ovulation and you bleed, period. But this information is important because once you understand which hormones are at play where, you're able to understand how they affect the rest of your everyday working. So, your menstrual phase can be compared to winter. And what happens in winter? It's like things shut down. In winter, it's dull, it's gray, it's cold. This happens for most people for day 1 to 5. The uterine lining is shed and we bleed. Then estrogen will increase fast, then it will drop as we prepare for another cycle of ovulation. So estrogen is important because it helps regulate cholesterol. It's good for bones and hair. That's why you see in menopause, people actually tend to shed a lot of hair because the estrogen levels are dropping. So at this phase, your energy levels are lowest, and one of the most common imbalances at this time is estrogen dominance. That's why we have PMS and mood swings, sleep disturbances, and more. But the gift that we get out of menstruation is that we are being forced to slow down. Your body is literally asking for a time to just take care of itself, to restore and to retreat. So it's a time for you to rest and to recover. So this is not the time for you to go and start running. However, you remember Coach Alice how we had that very interesting.
Or start diet when you want to plan to start your intermittent fasting. This is not the good season.
This is not the time. This is not the time. This is the time to take care of your body, to focus on soups, warming yourself up, nurturing and loving on yourself.
Take a
And
lot
so
of,
you want to drink.
yes.
Sorry?
This is the time to take a lot of broth.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of warm, nourishing teas. This is the time to bring in the turmeric and ginger teas, just to kind of warm up yourself. It's also that this is not the time to wear the short mini skirt and crop top.
Yeah.
No, because many of us actually feel fatter at this time, and you feel not so attractive. So this is the time to find comfort, your most comfortable clothes. It's also a time, if you're going to do any exercise, just try and walk and stretch lightly. In fact, on day 1 of your period, you should really not even be doing exercise. You just
Yes.
want to curl up and really take care of yourself.
Yes.
Um, And in terms of what should you be doing productive wise, this is a time for you to reflect, analyze, brainstorm, proofread, because like you're like, this is the time when if you want to review stuff, this is the perfect time to do so. Do you have anything you'd like to say about that?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Mm.
you're very right. This is the time to reflect more. This is the time you can review your goals, check your performance,
Mm-hmm.
more of Indo. Yeah, more of
Okay.
yeah.
So we just think about what happens in winter and kind of just reflect that in your daily life, and you'll see this is not a time to be active. This is a time for you to really slow down. So in terms of essential oils, actually the oil to use is clary sage. So clary sage has what they call natural phytoestrogens because it's derived from plants, and it helps to regulate estrogen levels. So in the long run, this will help ensure that your uterus is healthy. So it has linolene, acetate, and linanol. Linanol, these are what make clary sage relaxing and soothing and balancing. And it is also a natural hormone balancer and stimulates the opening of an obstructed system. This is an oil where if you're somebody who's suffering from cramps, having clary sage is a very important oil for you to have. So you would just take a drop. In fact, how I know that my period is coming is I quickly run for clary sage. I've done this for a long time, so I know certain signs. When I find myself reaching to pick clary sage, I know my period is coming. And when I use clary sage in my bath, I immediately relax, so the chances of me getting cramps are very, very reduced. And I've been using clary sage for at least a good 5 or 6 years. So it also, because it is antispasmodic, that is what helps with reducing the cramps that many people would feel. And then if you inhale clary sage, you're reducing cortisol levels by up to 36%. And cortisol is the hormone that is responsible for stress in the body. So you also just want to keep your cortisol levels really low. Now we're going to go into the follicular phase. I'm kind of moving through this quickly so that we have enough time to cover everything and give you enough time to go out for your event without rushing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are moving on to the follicular phase, and the follicular phase is technically spring. And what happens during spring is, the grass is beginning to grow, the flowers are beginning to bud. It's just so fresh and so vibrant, and you can sense life is coming back. Like you can sense that after winter, the world has been sleeping, and then now it's beginning to come back to life. That's what the follicular phase in a woman's body is all about. So now your energy is beginning to come up, and we have the follicle stimulating hormone, which is starting to produce follicles, one of which will eventually develop into an egg. Like when you think of your menstrual cycle, it's such a beautiful orchestra and symphony. And this tells you that whoever made this system really thought about it, like was very intentional about what each of the phase was supposed to do. So it's all starting somewhere, building up to something, and then starting again, which is very powerful stuff if you ask me.
It is.
So as estrogen is rising, your brain's memory capacity is also increasing. So you
Yeah.
have more motivation, your mental clarity is increasing, and you have a surge in energy. So at this time, it's a good time to make decisions because your mood and your concentration is increasing. So this is a time for vitality and renewal and inspiration. It's a time for new things. So because your creativity is highest here and your energy to get things done is also high, do the things that need to be done over here. This is the time for mentally challenging activities, for starting new projects, to strategize, plan for the month, to research, to brainstorm new ideas. And in terms of food, think spring, think fresh and vibrant food. So you want to have your mboga, you want to have your meat, you want to have ndengu, fermented foods. You even want to have meat at this time. And then as your energy is increasing, your workout, you can now start bringing in more cardio. You can now start and I found out that your body will react more efficiently to harder exercise, which will help boost metabolism and help you build lean muscle. Is there anything I may have missed out on this particular phase?
And this is when you find yourself also having that urge to win, to I want to accomplish this, I want to accomplish. This is when a woman is in her highest masculine behavior.
Mm-hmm.
This is when you can go after that interview, you can go after that business plan, you can start reminding the other person, oh, we are to meet at this time, where are we at this project, because you are mind and brain are collaborating.
Mm-hmm.
You have an alert and a high spirit. Yeah.
Oh, that's so powerful. So, in terms of planning out your calendar, when you have to follow up with people, plan it around your follicular phase. This is a perfect time because and then you won't have that timidity of the menstrual phase and that fear. This time you're really stepping in and everything is working together. That is how you begin to plan your calendar around your menstrual
Yes.
cycle for maximum benefits. Oh wow, that's so good.
This is the time you can call your partner for a meeting.
There you go. The hard conversations that you did not want to have
Yes.
because you were scared. Oh wow, that's so
Yes.
good. That's
Mhm.
really good. So, what essential oils can you use here? So, because your energy levels are rising, you want to use citruses because citruses are uplifting, citruses are motivating, citruses are light. You also want to include some spice oils like ginger, black pepper, because you're you're on fire. Like, this is the time. Let's go, go, go. So, you want to introduce stimulating spice oils like ginger, peppermint, rosemary. You want to do your cinnamon, your citruses like lemon, grapefruit. My personal favorite is bergamot, and I know you also really like bergamot. So
Yeah,
that's
I
a
do
good oil.
bergamot and citrus bliss.
Citrus bliss. So
Yes.
those are really good oils to use during the follicular stage. Then you
Yes.
also want to have a bit of basil because basil is an aromatic nerve tonic which will not only uplift, it will also help balance your hormones, but at the same time it can help restore, especially after you're coming out from a period of just being like cold and retreated.
Mhm.
Basil is a good aromatic nerve tonic. I personally don't use basil on its own. I can't stand it.
Mm.
I can't stand it, but it has a certain sweetness that is very different from basil the herb. But
Mhm.
if I mix it with something like bergamot, let me just do that really quickly. We see how that will go. It's not so bad. I feel like the citrus will help to balance it out a little bit.
Uh,
Yeah. So
or
as
maybe I
you're watching,
that as
sorry.
well. I need to collect basil. I don't have basil in my collection.
So as you're watching some of the ways I'm doing, and as we speak about how to use essential oils in your everyday thing, it's very simple. Even just opening the two bottles and inhaling directly from the bottle is very effective as self-care. Like right now I really like this combination. I'm thinking I'm going to use it in the bath, but probably in the morning again, but I'm just saying. All
Mm.
right, moving on. We now have ovulation. Oh, ovulation is your summertime. This is the
Yes.
time if you want to wear a tumbo cut and bikers, please go. This is the time when you're feeling attractive and beautiful and sassy and confident. There's a reason for that because at ovulation, like it's like your egg is mature. This is the time the highest your chances of getting pregnant are the highest. It's all part of God's plan. Like, and for you to get pregnant, obviously you need to feel attractive and beautiful and sassy. So this is your most creative time, but it's also your most fertile time in all senses of the word. So you're not just fertile in your body, you're fertile and sensual even in your activities and in what you're doing. So this is the time you should wear your most flattering outfits because you will look good. Your skin will be glowing and your hair will be shiny, and you will just look. And it's actually a time when you realize you want to be seen. Like it's
Yes.
just you. You're
Yes.
not even trying. You're not even trying. You just want to be seen. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of the fact that your energy is high and do the high intensity workouts. Try out new things. This is the time to go on that date because you're going to show up in your best light. This is
Yeah.
the time for you to be seen. Plan the photo shoot here. If you have any workshops that you want to host and retreats, do your videos at this time because you're just going to radiate feminine beauty, and it's
Yeah.
inbuilt already. You don't even have to try.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The beauty comes effortlessly. Everything fall into place.
It does, and it's actually one of the most beautiful and magnetic times and radiant times of women. So if you want to have a photo shoot, take your photo shoot here. You will look so different. Try it. Why don't you try taking different photos at different phases of your menstrual cycle and actually see the difference for yourself? This is the time.
Yeah.
If you want to host a workshop where you need to be seen, put in that presentation and just watch how things work together. And this just shows that it's already inbuilt in you as a woman. You don't even have to try so hard. And so this is the time you also want to eat a lot of fresh fruit salads. You want to eat red lentils. You want to have your foods rich in zinc, folate, magnesium. And this is because also remember every phase of your cycle is leading up to the next stage. So even as you're ovulating, you want your diet to support the next stage that is coming up, right?
Yes.
And so which essential oils are you going to use here? You want to use the oils that make you feel beautiful.
Hmm.
That's it. You just want oils that really speak to your beauty. And some of the oils that you can use are the floral oils. So your magnolia, your jasmine, your rose, your neroli. There's this blend by doTERRA that's actually one of my absolute favorites, and wear it as a personal fragrance. The Whisper blend. It has jasmine and ilang ilang, patchouli, vanilla, cinnamon, and cocoa. And what is really special about this essential blend is that it just you combines with everybody's individual chemistry to create a unique personal fragrance. So how it smells on me is very different from how it will smell on you, and
Yeah.
that's just it. It's really like it smells so good. So if you put this on your pulse points like so and wear it as your perfume du jour, you're always talking about, fragrances for the boardroom, fragrances for the
Yes.
bedroom, fragrances for every day. You should all check out Coach Alice's program. She has some very interesting and amazing programs that can help you structure even your scent profile to
Yes.
help nurture your femininity. Have,
Another
have I
another thing I want to add that I have used this particular oil
mm,
just after breastfeeding. You see,
yeah.
when you have a baby, and
Mm,
when we have a baby, we encourage us to not use fragrances for the baby to acknowledge your scent and to get to know the mom. So when you are transitioning again, you want to go back to work, you are still breastfeeding or you're still pumping your baby
oh
milk.
no, where have you gone? No.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay, I was saying when you are transitioning, you're going back to work, you still want to smell fresh and nice, but you don't want again use harsh alcohol-based fragrances on your body since you're still pumping or breastfeeding. This is a very nice essential oil that you can use that is very mild. You just put it here and here going to your before you enter into the meeting or before you meet that particular person, and it is very mild and it will not change your body scent for the baby. I really
Mm-hmm.
like that. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. And these are just how, even essential oils can work with your own body chemistry too, without altering anything and without causing any adverse effect. So
Yeah.
you want to bring out your floral oils because floral oils have a tendency to help women just feel beautiful and to feel nurtured and to feel loved. So the next other oil you want to try is sandalwood. Oh, sandalwood is one of my favorite, my personal favorite. And what sandalwood does, it helps balance out testosterone. So as a woman, you don't want to have too much testosterone. You want a small amount of it to help you get the things you need to get done, but you don't want over testosterone in your body. So what sandalwood will do is it'll help you balance that out. It will also help with connection. So if you want to feel a little bit more connected to people around you, just wear sandalwood as a scent. So it's very calming and it's very invigorating. I love wearing this as a personal scent. It's very expensive also, so I don't use it too often, but I really, really like it.
I've never
So
tried sandalwood. I would love to. I would love
you
to try.
should. Probably the next time we meet up, I will carry it so that you can smell it. It's really deep. It's very grounding, but it's very calming also. This is a very beautiful scent to have. So
Mhm.
let's go into the last phase, which is the luteal phase. This is where your body starts producing progesterone, and you will notice that it helps you feel calm, and you start winding down. So as you start winding down, you start taking care of your to-do list. There are times you feel like you just want to get things, you want to tick things off, This is also the time when very many women begin to remove, you start decluttering the things around you, like or you go on a cleaning spree, like you clean the whole house so quickly, everything is sparkling, and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
But this particular phase is good for you to practice self-care before your period comes, your actual menstrual period, so that when you start bleeding, you're able to reduce the PMS symptoms. So this is
Yeah.
also a time when many people feel a lot on their own, and
Yes.
this is a place where the more you can rest during this time, the more you will get out of your active phases. So the active phases of your menstrual cycle are the follicular and the ovulation. Then your passive periods are the luteal phase and the menstrual phase. So is there anything else you want to say?
In terms of energy,
Mhm.
when we energy, feminine and masculine energy,
Yeah.
this is the time a woman is so repelling. Like
Oh.
you are having enough energy that
Mm,
even you yourself you can feel it.
mm,
This is not the best time to go on dates. This is not the best time to go and showcase a project or seek for fund and everything because your energy is so off. This is
mm.
the time for you. I call it hibernation. This is the
Yes.
time to hibernate and do more of groundwork within yourself. Yeah. Don't start, don't launch your course or your
Out
program
during this time. Yeah.
at this time because your energy will be so off. Yeah.
And please, ladies, pay attention to some of these things because it will save you a lot of drama in the long run. Once you're aware of what goes on, you will know when you're functioning at your best and your highest, and you will know how to structure your schedule so that you can do the rest of the things just to support you, right? So because progesterone comes out after ovulation, it will calm and nurture. And sometimes this is why sometimes you want to sleep, and this is also why pregnant women actually tend to sleep a lot because of the progesterone levels. But also know that progesterone is the precursor to cortisol. So if you're stressed out, your body will prioritize keeping you safe, and it will produce more cortisol. You don't want more cortisol in your body. Please, please, please be mindful of that, and just try as much as you can to manage your stress levels, right? So when you notice that you're having sleep disturbances, mood swings during this second half, it's time for you to focus on balancing out your progesterone. So you want to do magnesium as a supplement. You also want to take a lot of vitamin C. So here, focus a lot on self-care and detoxification, and then spend time alone, as much time as you can alone. And we realize that even when you're a mothering doesn't stop when you're on your cycle, but if you can have a few moments by yourself where everybody's on quiet time, it would really be helpful to you, right? Then this is the time where you want to take care of your to-do list because your attention to detail is highest. Complete your deadlines and your tasks, nest, organize, clean, sort, do administrative tasks. Is there anything else I may have left out?
No, no, no. That's complete.
Yeah, and so the two essential oils that are really good for this time are geranium. Geranium is a floral oil, and it's one oil that helps inhibit inflammatory responses in the body. It's also, a sense. It's very balancing, and it helps balance the hormones, right? So we have what? Can you hear the noise in the background?
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. The other oil that you want, which is extremely useful for balancing out progesterone, is thyme. Ooh, thyme is very, very strong. And in fact, it's a hot oil. It's not one that I use very often, but it's a good oil to have, especially if you're mixing it with something like basil and geranium. I would be very careful with this, but it's a good oil for progesterone, right? So, it is an oil that helps stimulate hormones and it helps relieve menopausal systems, right? So it is an effective way to burst stress and to
Yeah.
treat restlessness. If you like thyme, the herb, another way you can also incorporate thyme actually is just cook with thyme, the herb, or make thyme tea. You can get a sprig of thyme herb and then boil it with hot water and strain it and make an infusion and infuse it with honey and drink the thyme tea. It's going to be very helpful for you, right? Let me see. So we have pretty much gone through in record time the four phases of the menstrual cycle, and I hope it has been useful. That you've seen there's a lot of good stuff available to us
Yes.
in using our menstrual cycle to plan out our lives. In fact, this is the number one key. If you can teach this to your daughters and teach this to the young girls and learn this for yourselves, you're going to see a great improvement in your overall health and wellness. And so one of the questions that Coach Alice asked me when we were brainstorming was how has using essential oils in particular helped with my femininity?
Yeah.
And for me, it has given me, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time now, and I have learned how to read cues based on the oils I am drawn to. It has also helped me develop a very individualized self-care routine that is determined by what I'm feeling, what's going on, which season I'm in. So it's very deliberate. It's a very deliberate and intentional self-care practice because you get to a point where you've started learning the season your body is in. You start understanding the cues your body is giving you. You start understanding how your mood and your feelings are impacted by where you are. And it all works together to create this beautiful synergy. So for me, which is why I would strongly encourage people to take on essential oils as a lifestyle, is because over time you begin to become more self-aware. And if
Yes.
you've been following my Instagram stories, I decided to start sharing with people what oils I'm using in the bath every evening, because for me it's actually an art. I'm very fascinated that I normally don't wake up deciding this is what I'm going to choose. But now when I look at the oil I've chosen and I look at the chemistry, I'm like, it all plays out so beautifully. So if you want to see how that happens in real life, please check my Instagram stories at around between 6 and 8 p.m. I share that just for, information. So do you want to say anything else? Do you want to add on onto that a little bit?
In my personal life, how essential oils have helped me nurture femininity, I would say in three aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, in my home care, I like using essential oils in the showers
Yes.
and especially the bergamot,
Yes. Do you use it in
peppermint.
the morning or in the evening?
I like using them in the evening. In the morning,
Mm.
I would use or I will put a drop in my son's bathroom when
Yes.
he has a flu or when I know he's going to have a long day, he has a match. So I want to drop like that so that the body opens up and he showers at peace. So sometimes he would say, Mommy, I smell a chewing gum in my bathroom, but I can't find it. So I say,
Mm.
"It's something that I dropped for you to shower and feel nice."
Mm-hmm.
I would use them in my sitting room area. I would put on cotton and probably put in the either in the vase or in the throw pillows
Mm-hmm.
that they keep bringing out good smell. I will vaporize sometime in my room once in a while, not
Yeah.
every day. I feel like I want to have that aura, that good energy, especially when my energy is off, when I'm
Yeah.
in when I'm in that season of hibernation, when I feel like my period are almost there and my energy is off. I like um, always putting my essential oils after shower, and I feel nice. When I feel like my sleep patterns are getting low, I put some drop of either lavender under my pillow, one or two. I put on a cotton and I put below my pillow and I sleep, and my sleep will just come. I will sleep like a baby throughout. So that is how it has helped me improve my wellness. And
Mm-hmm.
when I feel good, I have energy throughout during the day. The the other one called citrus bliss. I usually put it in another. I make a small concoction with water, olive oil, and then I put mint, and then that, and then I spray my curtains most of the time, and
Wow.
my curtain and my closet. In that way, my clothes smell so fresh and good and unique without putting another fragrance. Even though I will use a fragrance during the day on my pulse point, but my clothes and my closet have a particular smell for that. That's how I use essential oils. From you.
And this is the most fascinating part for me, because I keep saying essential oil is a science and essential oil is an art. It's a science
Yes,
because the chemistry is what helps the body heal, but it's an art because you get to decide how you want to use essential oils to support your wellness and your self-care. And so listening to all these in the various classes I've done, and every time I learn something new from somebody different. Like now, knowing that you can actually literally scent your curtain,
yes.
and your home will smell.
In the bathrooms, in my bathroom, I have a big pot where I put petals, dried petals.
Mm,
So I put some drop of citrus bliss,
yeah.
like that, and then I toss a bit,
Mm.
and it will smell for like 2 weeks. So I don't have to keep spraying, because when the door is closed, it freshen up the room.
And oh, that is so beautiful. That's just making for yourself a potpourri at home. So
Yes.
you've actually got into the next phase, which was just the practical tips of using essential oils to nurture femininity. And I think that was so rich that everybody in their own homes, because you understand your schedule, you understand your people, you understand your household, you find a way that works for you in your space to use essential oils. But let's just get into this particular part here of the practical tips. We were talking about how to nurture femininity, and
Yes.
one of them we talked about was tracking your menstrual cycle. Do you
Mhm.
want to speak a bit about that?
Yes, especially when you know you are a regular person, it's easy
Mm,
to do. But even if you're not regular in your menstrual, but you can read your body cues, they will easily tell you what are you up to. When you feel like, hey, this time around I want to eat fatty food, I want to eat a lot of cheese, I want to eat chocolate, all of a sudden I just want tea. So follow through what your body is telling you so that you can be able to know how to behave in every season. Yeah.
okay. And that is important. You can actually get menstrual tracking apps online, or you can just start by journaling. What are you feeling? What is going on? We want to encourage you not to be afraid of your feeling, of not being afraid of logging what's going on down to the detail, because those details are what will provide you with the information you need to make better choices for yourself, informed choices. So don't take it for granted that you feel fat or you feel unattractive. It's your body's way of communicating with you. Or today I really felt like I shone at work. That is a very important
Yeah.
cue that your body is giving to you. It's a way of talking to you. So once you learn how to hone in on that, you can learn how to maximize it for your own well-being, right? The other thing is you want to really manage inflammation. So reduce your sugar, reduce your caffeine, reduce your alcohol, everything within moderation. The other
Yeah.
thing is obviously detox your home,
Mhm.
eliminate harmful and hormone disrupting chemicals. And one of the things, unfortunately, we are really careless about is we take convenience over safety of our bodies. So we would much rather buy the most pungent smelling freshener without really paying attention to what it's doing to our hormones in the background. And there are
Yeah.
options.
Talk
You
about that. Talk about that, because nowadays we see many people following influencers, and you find that so that I look elegant, I look bougie, I have to buy a scented candle, I have to
know,
infuse, and then I have to spray, and then you find it is a whole bunch. You are creating a spectrum, a very dangerous spectrum for yourself and for your babies and your pets if you have pets.
and your pets. If your home, if people in your home are suffering from allergies and headaches and watery eyes and sneezing that does not seem to have any explanation, start by looking at what are you using. What is in your air freshener?
Yes.
What is in your cleaning detergent? And sometimes, like we have said, feminine women like it simple and easy to do. You don't need complicated things. If you had vinegar and essential oil and water and baking soda if you're going very far. But with those three ingredients, you can very easily create an all-purpose natural spray. You can add that to your cleaning water. You can add that to clean your toilets. And with that one simple formula, you have eliminated up to 50% of poisonous and hormone disrupting chemicals.
Yeah.
Please pay attention to what is in your house and how it affects coming into your body. Just the same way your lungs can be affected by secondary smoke, your hormones can be affected by what you put. And I'm going to do a class on green cleaning very soon. Probably not this year, but maybe towards the beginning of next year, because my calendar has already been planned out. But I really would like to help people see that green cleaning can be very simple but also very effective. You
Yeah.
don't need to have a carpet cleaner, a glass cleaner, a toilet cleaner, a sink cleaner. No, you can have one formulation that can easily just multitask around everything.
That will be
One
so
of
helpful, especially in this economy.
Yes, yeah. Look again, we don't have the money to just waste on buying 10 cleaners for 10 things. We need
Yeah.
one cleaner that will give us 10 uses, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is please address the issues that are causing stress. And I know there's a lot of pressure today, but whatever you need to do to help you manage your stress, please do that. For those of us who are Christians, please pray. Don't stop your praying, because God still hears us, right? Let me just encourage somebody right now. And then switch to non-toxic personal hygiene products like washable pads and the menstrual cup. And I
Yeah.
was explaining to Coach Alice, one of the things that really broke my heart one of the days was, I know many of us remember what happened with Always, how there
Yeah.
was an uproar that people were saying that the chemicals were really burning them. But what surprised me was that women were saying that they thought it was them who had the problem.
Mm.
That tells me that we have put so much faith in companies that are producing that who really don't care about what's going on with you. They want to get your money. And so for you to think
I
that the
remember
problem.
starting my and share something there, Brie. I remember the early stage of my period.
Mm,
I had already lost my child. parent. So my aunt is the one who taught me how to wear a pad, how to change, how long, and all that. But every time I would develop an allergy, all the time between my thighs, and instead of maybe questioning about the brand I was using, she would say, maybe you're not showering properly, maybe you're not washing your pants properly. So there was always that guilt of maybe I'm not doing the right thing. Not until when I changed, when I switched to the cup, it went
It all
completely.
went away. Yeah.
No itching, no scratching, nothing whatsoever.
And I'm almost sure that if you had any cramp, they reduced significantly.
I still do experience cramps, but
Yes,
on a very low level.
very low level. There you go.
Yeah.
So please look out for alternatives. The menstrual cup is a very, very good alternative. It will surprise you once you get the hang of it. So ladies, learn how to trust your bodies and to trust the signals that your body is giving you. It's there for a reason. And then as women, we cannot afford to be stagnant. So you need
Yeah.
to keep moving. Even if you're going to walk up and down, push your child on the bike for a bit, aim to have some form of movement every single day. So that has been a very info packed, info jammed session. This
Yeah.
whole slide about incorporating aromatherapy to nurture yourself. We've talked about it. We've talked
Mm,
about how you can use essential oils in your bath, essential
mm,
oils in your at bedtime, doing a massage. We've
mm.
talked about just opening the bottle and smelling an essential oil. We've talked about using essential oils as perfume on your pulse point. Um, we've talked about, okay, you may not have mentioned it, but you can also diffuse regularly. But for many people, diffusing might be one of those things you do today. The next time you remember to diffuse is 2 weeks from now. So you want to find ways that you can use essential oils that are not taking you out of your schedule. You have to
Yeah.
shower. You have
Yeah.
to shower. So use an oil as you shower. You have to sleep. So use an
Yeah.
oil as you sleep. You have to wear perfume. Many people do anyway. So you can opt to switch from using fragrances every day to maybe say today I'll try and use an essential oil, for example. When you have your menstrual cycle, your actual period, you can take clary sage, for example, rub it, put a drop and rub it on your belly to help you with cramps. And so, as we finalize, Alice asked me to come up with a list of essential oils that I think everybody needs to have. What if I was to say start here? What would be my
Yeah.
top picks? My
Yes.
top pick would be Claricalm for the simple reason it has all the oils we've talked about. And so
Yeah.
it's very useful in balancing hormones. It has clary sage, it has lavender, it has bergamot, it has chamomile, ilang ilang, cedarwood,
Mm.
geranium, fennel, palmarosa, vitex. All these oils are known to support feminine wellness. So
Yeah.
if you were to take anything from me and forget about everything else, it would be Claricam. It is good all through your cycle, all through all the phases. And consistent use of it will help balance out your hormones in the long run. So this is already pre-blended. They have done the work for you, so you don't have to go and sit and say which one, which one, which one. You just use this. And I use this especially the first week, the first month or so after postpartum. This was my lifeline. This was
Mhm.
all I used to roll. I never used to do anything else. Then, if I was to be asked another oil, would be Whisper. For the
Yeah.
simple reason that it just blends with who you are and it gives you a very unique personal fragrance, and you
Mhm.
can wear it as your perfume and you'll be very happy and you'll be feeling you will enjoy your femininity more with this blend, if you ask me. In fact, it is specifically called the blend for women.
This one is my favorite.
It's one of your favorites, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last one is now balance. And I love this blend because I've never met anybody who doesn't like it. And it's
Mhm.
good for any time of the day, morning, afternoon, evening. And when you're feeling like you're in a funk, or you just need a bit of grounding, or you need a bit of uplifting, because it's adaptogenic, it will adapt itself to what you need and be that for you in that moment. So those
Mm.
are my three if I was asked to say where should we start, this is what I would suggest. So you can either pick one or not. And so if you want to bring doTERRA oil into your home, send me a DM, a message, and all that. I'm happy to help you through. Next month's class, we're going to be talking about navigating pregnancy with essential oil. 5th of August, same time, and I'm going to be sharing with you what was my essential oil kits during my pregnancy journey, and I just want to shed some light on how you can use essential oils to support you during this very transformative period of your life. So now, with all that, let me see if I can just put us here. Here we go. With all that, I'm so grateful to have hosted you, Coach Alice. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Do you want to say a few final words? Do you want to talk about your event? Feel free to talk about yourself and what you do so people can actually know where and how to get in touch with you.
Thank you, Pri. It was an honor and privilege to be with you in this class. And thank you for all of you who attended. I hope you picked a thing or two that is going to be beneficial in the next time. And as I mentioned when I was starting, for those who were not here, I'm an executive coach. I coach presence, image, and etiquette. I am more lean into femininity because it has helped me as a person, because I was a very masculine woman in the beginning, throughout my childhood, throughout my teenagehood, and my fast life. And embracing femininity has led me to become a coach. Embracing femininity made me embrace etiquette, made me embrace softness, and learn about the importance of presence. And then here I am today. I coach other women to also embrace the same and benefit on the same. I do have personal coaching. I coach one on one. I also conduct cohorts, executive coaching, C-suites, and also fine dining classes. If you want to have a fine dining class with your family or you alone, I coach confidence, expression, and presence skills. I also run private circle conversations for women, executive and business owners, women who like or would want to step into femininity. My July circle is starting on 7th. If you would like to join, please DM me on my Instagram. I think Brie will share with you, but it is also Coach Alice underscore elevate. If you drop me a DM, say, or femininity or circle of conversation, I will I will immediately drop you information that you need so that you can join our July circle. That's all for today.
Oh wow. And also she teaches you, she's having a mommy and daughter high tea event
Yes, this
afternoon.
afternoon, yes. I organize different events to help women embrace social knowledge, that is, social graces, social etiquette, how to navigate and connect among each other. Because I know most ladies fear uh, events, fear connection. You don't know what to say, you don't know how to carry yourself, you don't know how to respond to unpleasant questions. And when you join such a kind of event, it helps you actually to gain that social knowledge that you need to outstand out there in the public. So this afternoon at 3 p.m., I'm having a high tea event at Hemingway's. In August, I'm going to have a pre-teen coaching to help your teen learn how to navigate teenagehood, the energy, the presence, the body changes, the image, and the etiquette and manners around that. So if you know those are the things that interest you, feel free to DM and follow my page for regular tips on etiquette, image, and presence skills.
Yeah. So at the very least, you should be following Coach Alice on Instagram because she does give a lot of value packed information. Just going through her posts and understanding what she shares, it can also be very transformative. And yeah, elevate your presence by getting on to Coach Alice's programs. It's very, very useful. And I just want to say that you're one of the most honest and authentic people I have had the privilege of seeing. You are exactly who you are on screen as you are off screen. Like there's no difference. Like, so please
Thank
note, you're getting one person. You're not getting on screen Alice when you see her off screen. Like, no, she's Alice who is Alice where she is. I think that's very, very that's a very powerful trait of being a feminine woman. So
you.
thank you so much for sharing. If anybody would have any questions or comments, both now and on the replay, please leave them under the video. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I will do my best to kind of get back to you on that front. But thank you for joining us. We've really done a talk, and this clearly shows that we can do so much more.
Yes.
There's so much more to learn and so much more to be gleaned from such a conversation. Thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you for sharing your expertise with me. I hope it has also been, beneficial for you too. Just as I have learned so much just from hearing you, I hope it has been the same for you as well.
It has. I have already added 2 oils on my wish list.
No problem. Absolutely. All right,
Yes.
everybody. Coach Alice, enjoy your event. Have a successful event. Everybody have a good weekend and have yourselves a very successful and prosperous month of July.
Thank
We're
you
done
so
for now.
much.
We're
Yes,
done for now.
thank
All
you.
right.